Welcome to Majority Speaks Returns, where videos gather. Hey everybody, what's going on? It's me, Majority, and I'm out here today bringing you the Majority Speaks Returns August edition. A lot of things to go over. We're actually, going to be doing 3 primary videos and the Q&A/viewer voicemail segment. One of the videos took a bit more work during this cycle, and also I just do need a little bit extra time to start working on a more creative project that I've had in the works. 2, like I said, we did have that new video style, a video essay. I haven't done one since the Star Fox narrative analyses. So you've got one of those to look forward to today, as well as a Majority Cast Returns and table topics. Not in that order, but still that's the content. And also an announcement that we will be having a very special guest host the next installment of Majority Speaks Returns for the month of September. Stay tuned to the end of the video for more on that. But all questions for Q&A and segments that you see should be catered towards that individual, but they will be posted on this channel. A little confusing. Check out the Discord for more. You'll have updates there. With that being said, we do have some great video content to kick off for you, and what better way to roll in the videos than with table topics. Roll it. Hey y'all, welcome back to The Table. It's me, Majority, and I'm inviting you to another installment in, wait for it, Table Topics, a series where I invite you, the viewer, to the table to talk topics on all things gaming and game related. I invite you to do video responses or participate in the comments below to any topic. We've had a number of topics, and we had a lot of responses to the last topic, games you wish you beat sooner. A question asked and answered by BioPhoenix over in the Discord. You can also check out all previous table topics entries in the shared community table topics playlist. We got a lot of great responses last time. VG Mashup, Terry309, Malta Master, Turbo Zone, and of course the BioPhoenix. Check them out if you haven't already. Now hold on a second. Do you hear that? It's the sound of silence. No, it's not. You can hear birds. But I wanted to do this dramatic kind of thing about silence because that's going to relate to today's topic. Today's topic is silent protagonists, but what inspired this was my recent playthrough of Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, and also a movie that I watched with my dad called The Seventh Seal by Ingmar Bergman from the 50s. Classic film where the main characters battle against death in a game of chess in order to save their lives during the era of the Black Plague. Of course, it's a little deeper than that and more symbolic, but great movie. You can check it out for free on YouTube. Isn't that dope? But what about silent protagonists? What is your perspective on silent protagonists? And why do you think and why do you feel that way about them? This is not a topic I cared about ever coming into YouTube, because it's not one that I had to reconcile for. In talking about my favorite games, I've had to defend the silent protagonist to pretty much everybody. And like it seems like I'm on the losing side of the argument, that people just generally hate silent protagonists. They've seen examples of it done poorly, and they don't, they think the character should have a voice. And I didn't ever consider that this was a detriment to the game, because a lot of my favorite games have sported silent protagonists. The Legend of Zelda, you play as Link. Link doesn't talk. Shin Megami Tensei, you do create your own kind of path and character for the person, but generally there are almost no dialogue options, aside from the choices that you make, but that's kind of an exception. Dragon Quest is like the prototypical silent protagonist. For 11 games, they haven't changed that. So what's the deal? Do I care? No, I don't care. I don't care if the protagonist is silent, so long as the concept for the game and its execution are solid, that you have a solid foundation for both of those aspects. So how did these two things inspire the question? Well, Nocturne, I think I was just so engaged in the world and the characters and deciding my own path throughout my playthrough that I barely even noticed the silent protagonist as an aspect of it. And then when I watched The Seventh Seal, there are multiple characters in that film, and one of them is, oddly enough, mostly mute for the entirety of it. But I didn't particularly like any of them. And I had to ask myself, does this take away from my appreciation for the film and or the auteur, the creator? Do I associate the same feelings with the character as I do with the work and the creator? And the answer is initially perhaps yes, but after the fact, no. If you got a solid film, regardless if the characters are likable or not likable, it's a solid film. End of story. You could say the same thing about silent protagonists. If you don't like the silent protagonist, that doesn't mean it's a bad game. I loved every time I've replayed Ocarina of Time. It's been a classic to me, and it doesn't lose its value, and nor does Majora's Mask, nor do a lot of these Zelda games. I think one of the big issues that comes with the silent protagonist is the association of blank slate with them, that they become this sort of empty or void character with no associated feelings, and that's a stereotype that gamers tend to put on them. But I don't necessarily think that's true. In each of these games where you typically are the silent protagonist, you have multiple identities constructed for you. In Ocarina of Time, you are the hero of time. In Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, you're the demi-fiend, human/demon. And you decide what you become by the end. Dragon Quest, let's just take one of them for example. Like Dragon Quest 3, you're the son of Erdrick, and you're working to unify, I guess, or like save the kingdom and the world. So you're the holy crusader in a sense. And the fact that you have this kind of moniker as that individual makes you that much more personable. So yes, I know like Dragon Quest 3, you might not talk, you might not get a sense of like who is this character, although oddly enough you do kind of like pick choices in the remakes, saying what kind of person you are or whatever. But that you are a son looking for his father, and that comes up in so many conversations with NPCs throughout the game. Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, you have 6 freaking endings in the Western release anyway, not the initial release. There's 5, but there's so much to work with and so many identities to construct that becomes part of the engagement process. Is what character are you building? Are you creating? And of course, Zelda is just charming, and they can do little things like give little sound effects to Link that that still become iconic to this day. Yeah, that's my sword slash. If you couldn't tell, actually, it was me picking up a rock. Yeah. But generally, I'm okay with silent protagonists. Now, this does cause a conflict in my perspective on narrative versus gameplay. I will frequently say that I prefer narrative over gameplay. So how does that work if your protagonist is silent? Like I said, the game is still a solid game and can still have a solid narrative even if the main character is silent. I know you typically won't see this in like a movie unless the character is considered like mute, or as like maybe as some sort of like disability in a sense. And so it ends up becoming a negative stereotype in most films. But in the game, it's used to a different extent, that, you know, they are heroes in a sense. So immediately, like, I'm associating a more positive kind of impression with them. And so the other thing too is, you know, like, there are many things that constitute storytelling. Link saving the Gorons from, you know, persecution by the dragons in an effort to get the Triforce to stop Ganondorf is storytelling. The demi-fiend deciding between a fate of destruction or order or chaos or any of these for the future of the world in Tokyo is storytelling. The character in Dragon Quest IV uniting parties and basically being the foretold prophet, and, you know, working to stop the demon lord from taking over is storytelling. And, you know, I think, and I would challenge others to think this way too, that just because the protagonist is silent doesn't mean the game lacks storytelling. And I'm not saying you can't have good storytelling with a game like Final Fantasies, you know, like 7 or something, where like Cloud is a speaker and he talks, or, you know, like, I guess Halo is, you know, you get the classic Master Chief voice, you know. But the thing is, you can do it either way. And I'm content with silent protagonists. I mean, I have never, I've seen examples of it done poorly, but as long as the foundation is strong and the concept is strong and I feel a sense of purpose in playing the game, then I'm all for it. Let me know what you think. What are your perspectives on silent protagonists? Entries are welcome either as video responses or in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time here at the table.
What is the case for the Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD Remaster? Look, I gotta break the ice somehow, but this is a serious issue. What is the case for paying full price for a remaster of a nearly 20-year-old game? At least that's what people on the internet will have you believe. That this is some sort of lazy and overpriced remaster. I screenshotted a couple popular comments over on Official Atlas West's launch trailer for the game that are indicative of the general consumer sentiment, and it's not pretty. Complaints run the gamut from too few changes to being available on the PSN shop on PS3 for a fraction of the price, and DLC packs locking some of the supplementary content behind a paywall, particularly Dante from Capcom's Devil May Cry series. With all this negativity, I'd like to contend that while each of these reasons are notable, I'd like to create my own reason as to why this remaster is warranted today. Before delving into the specifics, I want to talk about the game and my experience with it as a whole. I first started playing Nocturne on the PlayStation 2 around 5 years ago, after having already adored my playthrough of Shin Megami Tensei 4 on the Nintendo 3DS. Suffice to say, while I found the hour or two that I invested into Nocturne novel, I couldn't look past what I thought of as bland environments and a game with gameplay systems rendered archaic by its very own sequel of 10 years. The lack of demon lore and the more rudimentary plots and subplots left me largely uninterested 2 hours in, almost without a sense of purpose, if you will. I wound up shelving the title for quite some time and selling Nocturne rather ambivalently. Fast forward to the 2020 Nintendo Direct, where Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD Remaster is announced alongside Shin Megami Tensei 5, the long-awaited sequel to 4 and 4 Apocalypse, and it was announced for the PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch in early 2021. My interest in the title was rekindled. I knew that I hadn't given the title its fair light of day, so this was my chance to commit some cycles to it. On the PlayStation 4, I put approximately 70 hours into my playthrough, and all the while played virtually nothing else. That's leagues above and beyond what I had accomplished with the title previously. So what changed? Quite a bit, actually. And I want to focus now on the hardware. For one, the PlayStation 4 makes the PlayStation 2 feel, by and large, antiquated. A lot of people will focus on quality of life improvements in remasters while neglecting the quality of life improvements on the console. While the Nocturne remaster looks and plays fine, the true boons, to me, come in several other forms. One is the PlayStation 4's Power Save mode. This is a lengthy RPG with limited save stations, and while I appreciated the complexity of clearing the game with this added challenge, Power Save mode got me out of a couple tough spots where I couldn't teleport back to a save station easily. Perhaps most important to me was my use of the PlayStation 4 controller. Not only did I thoroughly enjoy playing the game wirelessly, but I also gained a newfound appreciation for the music and sounds in the game with my noise-canceling headphones inserted into the controller. I should also note that all of these features can be equally, if not more, optimized on the Nintendo Switch, with the added benefit of playing the game in handheld mode. However, one area the Switch doesn't have the PlayStation 4 version beat is in the trophy department. Now look, I know it sounds superficial to bring up trophies as a motivator for playing the game, but just the awareness that trophies were tied to elements like registering demons, demon fusion, demon negotiation, and the wealth of game endings as well as other collectibles pushed me to get through a lot of the more grindy elements of the game. I didn't have to invest as much time as I did into things like leveling up or fusing demons, but I genuinely felt engaged during these processes, in no small part due to the help of the platform that the game was being played on. The PS4 also allows for easy gameplay capture and streaming in ways the Switch and PlayStation 2 do not, and I took full advantage of both. With all these added benefits, did I appreciate my time with the title more now? Absolutely. In diving into the remaster, I found that Nocturne has a learning curve by which it opens up to players. The plot seems shallow at first, but gradually opens up as the premise of the destruction and rebirth of Tokyo, Japan, and the world become inextricably linked to your core choices in the game. The plot and character development are not, by and large, complex, but I found that the mostly straightforward nature of these aspects were still meaningful, while also allowing the game to shine in other areas, such as the press-turn combat in some absolutely fiendish battles, or the rich and seemingly endless team building from an endless array of demons at your disposal.
What the hell's your problem? I said I didn't do a damn thing! There's more? No way. Is that you? Hey, you gotta help me. We don't have time to waste here. The teacher, she's...
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another installment in Majora T-Cast Returns. And this time, we're returning with a spectacular guest. Second time, maybe third on the show. We have BioPhoenix. Welcome to the Majora T-Cast. Welcome back, I should say, BioPhoenix.
Hello everyone, and this is BioPhoenix here, and yeah, actually it's my second time in your cast, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure it's the second.
Well, we
But,
did the For the Love of RPGs, but then I think we also did a discourse on SMT4.
Oh, yeah, you're right, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, yeah, so I'm here again, and that's cool. I'm happy for that, and yeah, hope everyone's doing good.
Absolutely. And, you know, I like to kick these things off with kind of a fun question, so I'm going to start off with the fun question. Does PP2 exist?
Does PP2 exist? Oh, I actually, I remember that. That's from my one review I did on the game called The Note. Like, there's this, like, one character, and on the back of her, like, shirt, for some whatever reason, it says, does PP2 exist? And then, of course, I made a joke saying, like, oh, what, does Prince of Persia 2 exist? Well, yes, it does.
Yeah, you got me with that one. That was good.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that I could actually remember some of this, like, stupid stuff I say in my videos, because I have so many of them.
Oh, yeah. So many. But you're like the king of pushing out content, man. Way to go.
Somehow, but I think...
Yeah, man. You're a real legend. Of time. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. But so okay, let's start with a real question. I know you like the Japanese food, like sushi and stuff. Oh, I'm getting reverb, by the way. Are you using headphones?
No, but I can switch to headphones.
Yeah, I can just splice this out. Pardon the interruption. So we know, or I know, that you like the Japanese food, especially sushi. I was hoping you could give me and the audience a 3-roll special. The BioPhoenix 3-roll special.
Okay, I haven't had, like, actual sushi in, like, a long time, but I always really liked, you know, like, the crab rolls a lot. I know it sounds basic as hell, but I always like those, you know, where you have the crab and avocado and all that. And then, I remember there was one I had that was really good. It doesn't sound like it would be good, but it is. It was the eel rolls. Those were surprisingly good.
Okay, that's 2.
That's
Need
2.
one more.
Trying to remember what was the other ones that I used to really like. I know. Okay, I think the other one I'll do is just be shrimp. There you go.
Okay. Solid picks. And when you like pick these rolls, are they like the rolls, or is it like, do you get like the cone one sometimes?
Oh, just the rolls. I never really get the cone ones.
Yeah, me neither, because you get like two for the same price.
Yeah.
It's not like you can't lick a seaweed, you know.
Yeah.
Ice cream cone. Good picks though. Yeah, I like crab too. It's one of the few fish items I can still return to. But back when I used to love sushi, my favorite was like the fish egg one.
Are you talking about was it Caligari or whatever?
Oh, calamari? No, is that what
No,
you
no,
mean?
no. No, the fish eggs. They're like orange.
Yeah. So there's two names for it. One is like the fish roe, ROE, but then they also call it a ikura. If it's, I think that's the one. It's like the small orange ones.
Okay. Okay, that's right. Okay, see, there's another name I know for it, but for some reason I can't think of it. No, wait, it's caviar. There you
Oh,
go.
caviar. Yeah, that's a good side dish. I do like me some good caviar.
Yeah.
Beauty. All right, but we're not here today to talk about fish, although I guess we can. But I wanted to talk to you about your most recent project, which has hit the web by storm, the Trails of Cold Stone.
Oh yeah, the Trails of Cold Steel Bridge series. Yep.
Hell yes. Way to go, man. That was awesome. It was an awesome project to watch, and it felt like a real community event. I just wanted to kind of like take a moment and applaud you on it and encourage listeners to go check it out if they haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a pretty hard project to do, but man, was it a lot of fun.
Talk to me
And
about... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, you can go.
I was just going to say, like, what inspired you to do this?
Okay, what inspired me to do this? Okay, there's a bit of a long story behind it. So when it comes to like a bridge series in general, like what a lot of people know about, like like Yu-Gi-Oh, and then there's like Dragon Ball Z from Team 4 Star, and then there's the Hellsing one. Those are all classics and are great. But I was always like inspired by them in the sense that I've always wanted to like make my own, and I actually did like years and years ago, based off one of my favorite obscure series called Deception. But don't look that one up because it's really, 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 really bad. It's actually still on my channel.
Go check it out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to see some cringe shit, yeah, you can go ahead. But yeah, don't expect anything great. But yeah, so I made that. That was a thing. And I did make another one with like a good friend of mine, well, someone that I used to be friends with, but I won't go too much into that because it's a kind of turned to a shit show. But basically, there was another one I did work on it, and for the longest time, I thought it was lost. But a friend of mine, like another one, he actually recovered it, and yeah, watched it all over again. And was like, "This is better, but still isn't great."
Yeah.
And then many years later, I kind of took a break from all that type of stuff because I was too busy, focusing on like my reviews and all that kind of stuff. And then, as I was playing through this RPG series, Trails of Cold Steel and all that, like I really loved them a lot. And as I was like playing through them all, like I was kind of like thinking, like kind of making fun of like certain like parts like in the games. I was kind of like, I actually wonder if someone would like ever do an abridged series off this shit. Like I wasn't expecting to do it myself. I was thinking like maybe like someone else out there would do one, but then of course, it's like now all 4 games are out and no one has not done one yet. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I should probably do one. Like I think it would be cool. I mean, I have a few ideas I think could be funny and maybe people would like. And for the longest time I didn't really know how I was gonna do it because normally like I always try and got like people I knew to voice in my other shit. So I was kind of unsure if I could still do that now. It wasn't until I watched an interview with a voice actor named Kira Buckland. She's known for voicing 2B from Near Automata and all that. She's done a lot of other great stuff too, but that's like the one that most people know her from. But yeah, so I watched an interview with her, and she said that she actually has like a Discord channel where if you have like any projects that you're working on, whether it be your paying or like fan projects or whatever, it could be on like anything. Like yeah, like you can actually scout people out to help you with your stuff, like people that want to become voice actors. So I was kind of thinking like, oh shit, like I can actually get people to help me out with this shit. And yeah, and that's basically where I was going, where I was trying to get people to voice in it. And of course, I got you to help me out with that too. and I've gotten a couple other people that I know on YouTube that can make some funny ass voices and that are totally okay with it. And yeah, I was just like, yeah, okay, let's do this, and wrote up a script and everything, and it took me a bit of time to do, but I had a lot of fun doing it, and I'm glad the episode came out the way it did. Like, damn. A lot of time and effort, but I think it was worth it. And of course, episode 2 is going to be on the way. I finished the script for it. I just need to, I'm just waiting to hear back from people. And once I get a few more voices in, then I can actually start editing a bit of it at a time.
Yeah, I think I'm one of them, so I'll get you that stuff soon.
Yeah, you only have like one line, so it'll be easy.
It will be a good line. I promise.
Yeah.
That. Yeah.
All right, but yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say on like just the background info.
It's a great story. I didn't know that you've done ones previously. It seems like kind of a passion project for you, so it's cool to hear that.
Yeah, well, like I said, the first one really sucked.
Yeah, we all got to start somewhere, though.
Oh yeah, but it's that was the thing, and yeah, like I said, I'm happy that I'm doing the one that I am now, because I think it's a lot more better overall. I think in terms of quality, in terms of like voices, and like the script is better. I think the jokes are better. Like there's not as much like cringy shit. At least I don't think it's cringy. I don't know. Maybe someone out there might think it is, but I think it's good.
Yeah, I thought it was a lot of great liners in there. But Lord uses.
Yeah.
If you fire me, who's gonna bring you your favorite fruitcake?
Yeah.
That's good. And then the guy who did the Arnold voice, man, he killed it.
Oh yeah, that was my friend Aaronetic. I used to know him as another YouTube. Well, he still has the same channel, just he changed his name, and sometimes I accidentally call him the old name every now and again. But yeah, no, he's a really good guy I've known for a couple of years on YouTube. And yeah, when as soon as I was like thinking like, hey, who should I make Reen? And when I thought about the idea of making him like Arnold Schwarzenegger, because his last name's like in the game is Schwarzer, which sounds like Schwarzenegger. So
Yeah.
it's like so it's like, okay, that could work. And then there's also the fact that Arnold also plays a lot of main characters in films. So yeah, there you go, perfect. And yeah, just thought I could make some goofy shit. And as soon as I thought about that, I was like, yeah, I think he would be perfect for that, and he did.
My favorite line from him, I think, is, "I don't know you, and I don't care to know you."
I don't know you. I don't care to know you.
Oh yeah.
Ah, yes, good tea. Good tea. Tea for Terry. Terry, I'm really getting a good taste for tea, bringing in all these interesting teas for the Majority Speaks Returns. This one is, in fact, for you. It's a British blend. It's for me, really, so I can expand my horizons and my taste. It's a black tea by Tetley. I don't even know if you know what company that is, or if I know, or whatever, but it's good. Serviceable. We are going to roll in the Q&A, but before we do, it's time to announce that Alex from Turbo Zone will be hosting Q&A, as well as all of the video segments for next month on Majority Speaks Returns. So leave him some good questions in the Discord, the Sworn Brothers. They should all be towards him. You can also send me voicemails, and I'll just forward them to him, and he can address them as well. With that being said, let's get into some questions. All right, so I got the new layout here. Hopefully it's not too daunting on the eyes. Ash Ketchum, Pokemon. We got some Pokemon-themed questions here. So excited to get to it. Let's go. All right. Alex of Turbo Zone. Hey, I was just talking about you. If you had to fight a Nintendo game end boss in real life, which would you fight and why? And what would your video game weapon of choice be, aka Master Sword, Fire Flower, Landmaster, etc.? Shoot, I missed the end boss bit here. I actually thought of a boss that is not an end boss, but that is like a boss. Now, here's the thing, right? I mean, obviously you want to survive, but I think this is on the condition that you are going to play as that character or with some weapons, etc., so that you can, last the battle. And I'll come back to end boss in a sec because I haven't really thought of it. But in terms of just a really good boss that I would like to to hone my metal against would be Kraid from Super Metroid, and my weapon of choice would be the Super Missile. Now, why is that, you may ask? You know, Kraid's a big, bossy guy, and like, you know, I mean, I've died a couple times to Kraid. Well, here's the thing. If I'm going to go out, I want to go out like a champ, and that is a real test of your metal. It's a real strong boss, and you know, you do have to have some skill in dodging the claws as they come at you and platforming on them, and then also timing your missiles into Kraid's mouth. It's a good battle. I do enjoy it. If we're talking strictly end bosses here, like the end boss of the game, I don't know, I'd go Bowser from Mario 64. I don't know, something about the whole seismic toss or whatever, or the cyclone toss that he does. It's kind of nostalgic, and I think that's another kind of boss battle where you do have to kind of flex your skills and your timing and everything, and it's not super precise. It's kind of difficult to coordinate it, but I do think it's a really good end boss. Solid question. All right, we've got some tea for, oh, that's not Terry, that's VG Mashup. Is that VG Mashup? That's weird. Well, I'll drink some tea to you anyway. Here, VG Mashup. Terry. Okay, so we got some questions here. Is VG Mashup here? Yeah. I mean, he's not online right now, but he's here. We have, I can't scroll down in here. I don't want to mess up the video. We have 2 VG Mashups. Very interesting. Maybe Terry's using his cell phone. If they ever make an F-Zero beat-em-up spin-off, what would the story be, and how would it justify Falcon going from racing to punching people in the nuts? Are you talking like a Musou game? Or are you talking like a Streets of Rage-ish kind of thing? I think the latter would be pretty cool. You know, you could get like, maybe you could use the roster of F-Zero X or GX, and you could have like these kind of like cutout looking graphics, like a comic strip. And I think that the environments in Streets of Rage would serve really well too. The story would probably entail something about maybe Captain Falcon's rise to the Grand Prix. You know, his ability to get his first machine, the Blue Falcon, is that the name of it? I don't remember. I should know this. Oh well, let's just say it is. And so maybe the story would be kind of like a quest, if you will, to get enough currency to buy that machine. And that would involve a lot of punching people in the nuts and getting their money. And you could have kind of like a end segment with like, you know, maybe you're competing against another rival to you know, get that machine, and they're like the end boss because, you know, they're on the auction setting with you. It could almost have like a Beautiful Joe style, which is interesting because Beautiful Joe has that kind of Captain Falcon look to him. That's always the connection I made. So I don't know. Maybe there's something there. You can let me know. Maybe that's too much. What dead video game character would you bring back in terms of they died in the story, and why? What character died in the story that I would like to bring back? Well, pretty much everybody dies in SMT3 Nocturne, but I guess, you know, I'm the Zelda guy, right? And you know, there are some people that die in Zeldas, and I think in A Link to the Past, you know, the father dies at the very beginning. You don't really get a good chance to know him, and so there could be something interesting there, some kind of like a saga of bringing the father back. Maybe I just don't remember the ending. Maybe he does come back, but I don't know. That would be my pick. And then of course, the father in Dragon Quest V is very nostalgic. You do play as him, and I would like to see him come back to life, but I think that might ruin the plot of the game and like kind of the major moments. Oops, spoiler alert for those who haven't played Dragon Quest V, but I think most people have had it spoiled for them by now. Cool, good question. Has Pokemon ever ruined your life? Well, for something to ruin my life has to be, or some aspect of my life has to be irreparable. I mean, I guess I have some back pains, but it's not that bad. So I would go no on that one. I think Pokemon has probably enhanced my life in some ways, maybe more calculative and understanding, and you know, like had a very structured mindset, and kind of oriented the taste that I have in games today, even kind of opening doors for me as far as RPGs go. And I do like the competitive nature. I don't think anything bad has come out of Pokemon for me. Have you ever played Hot Wheels Turbo Racing? No, I have not. Is it any good? Let me know. Which button mappers is the best at Pokemon? I mean, it's me. I'm the best at Pokemon. Are you and Alex related to Chad from Nickelback? Maybe. Maybe. There might be some long-lost relative. Let's look up Chad from Nickelback. Chad Nickelback. Chad Kroger. I'm sure that... Okay. Canadian. Maybe Biophoenix is related. The truth about what happened to Chad Kroger. Oh, no. Never trust a YouTube video, somebody once told me. That's from a Shrek song. Okay, whatever. Does Spencer smoke weed? No, he does not. Have you ever tried weed? No. Is there a point in your life where you have eaten an insect? No, but when I was like 3 years old, I remember eating a stick once, like a very small stick. I think I spit it out or something. I don't know. Yeah, bugs gross me the hell out, man. I will. That's not even a possibility for me, eating an insect. What Pokemon is Terry? This is from Alex of Turbozone. And why? Well, you determined this, right? He's a Poliwag. That was in your playthrough. Because you're a Squirter, and he's your son. So therefore, Poliwag. But I'm going to have to give my son... okay, I've adopted Terry. Terry's now my son. I'm giving him the Scrafty pants. Scrafty, man. It's Scrafty, you know, Scrafty comes to scrap. And I think Terry brings the punches. And so I'm going to give him the Scrafty nomination as far as Pokemon goes. Yeah, good question. Amir's Translator, aka Multimaster, what were the Genesis games you play with your friend? Okay, so Multimaster is referring back to, sometimes I share this story about my nostalgia for the Genesis and where a lot of my memories come from it. It was one of the first times I experienced a 16-bit console. I was maybe about 8 or 9 years old, and I was over at my friend's house. He had a Genesis, and I'd only ever really had and played with Nintendo consoles up to that point. And so I experienced a couple games with him. One was Tiny Toons on the Genesis. I don't remember much about it, but I remember the music being kind of jolly and the platforming being pretty good. I remember dabbling in Vector Man and thinking it was really cool. I remember the music for like that ocean stage, like level 2 or 3 or something, and yeah, just the sound effects and everything was super cool. The character and even that kind of like run and gun combat. I wasn't very good at the train section. Sonic 3, I remember just being blown away by Sonic 3 in the Hydro City segment where you go running on water, and a sense of exploration and speed. You do get a good sense of speed in that game. And I think I'm forgetting one or two more. Those are the primary ones, and if I can think of one later, I'll put it as a title screen on the video, but nothing's coming to mind right now. Gosh, I know there's one or two more, but that'll be it for now, I guess. Biophoenix, if you could replace a character voice with a famous actor, what would you pick? That is a great question, and I my mind goes to probably the silent protagonist. I think could be really funny. Like if you threw Mario as like a Danny DeVito, I think that would be so funny, man. Like they did that with Detective Pikachu. Oh, dude, if you hit Detective Pikachu with the Danny DeVito, that'd be an insta-buy for me. I think for most people on the internet too. But I just see Mario as kind of like a Danny DeVito. Hey, what's going on, guys? You know, like Danny DeVito's Italian accent, I don't know if it's that pronounced, but he has that kind of like bitter uncle vibe to him. And I think Mario kind of has that vibes when he's not looking all jubilant. And it would be such an interesting stark contrast to Mario's visage. As far as like some characters don't need voices, like you don't have to give Samus a voice. I know they did the Wii game or whatever, Other M, but I don't really consider that canon, so I don't really look at that as needing a voice. If you talk to me about like the Dragon Quest hero per se, not in Dragon Quest Heroes, but like the main character in most of those games, it's kind of varied on the game. I don't know if I could put a specific person to it. I almost think like an Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. Gosh, I don't know that guy's name. You know what? Let me do a little lesson for myself. Let's look it up. Aragorn, Lord of the Rings. Or even Orlando Bloom would be good too. What is this guy? Who? Viggo Mortensen. I should have known that. You know, he did some other Hidalgo or some kind of forgettable film. What happened to the cast of Lord of the Rings? I feel like they kind of fell off. Orlando Bloom is the only one that really made it out of there with Pirates of the Caribbean. So, anyways, great question though. I love it. VG Mashup. Oh, this one has a different logo. Is this the real VG Mashup? Will the real VG Mashup please stand up? Do you have an example of a game you could not get into initially, but after replaying turned out to be one of your favorite games? What changed? Okay, so I talked up a storm about how SMT3 Nocturne, you know, just it was a victim of the platform for me, and I did not care about the PlayStation 2, but you know, in replaying it on the PlayStation 4, the hardware served me immensely in enjoying it. As far as other games where that's kind of happened for me, like it's interesting because like I think to Journey, right? Journey, like I've tried playing it so many times, and every time I like it less and less. So like that's not a good example. You know what? I just can't think of a good one for you. It's a great question though, but I would probably stick with SMT3 as my answer. All right, we have another VG Mashup question here, but this is not VG Mashup. This is Terry. Is it Terry or is it VG Mashup? I'm so confused. Is Alex actually a Spectrobe? Well, let's look up the Spectrobes and let's find out. Spectrobes. Spectrobes list of monsters. List of Spectrobes. I do not understand the lore here at all. Okay, I would not pin him as one of these guys. I think, well, he does like bugs, so that could work. I don't even, what am I looking at? Is this an egg? Is it a hatching egg? Harumi? What is this? Like this scorpion transformer. This one kind of has Bulbasaur vibes. Like I think Spyco might work for him. I definitely don't see the crawfish thing going on here. I don't even understand what's going on there. This fire boar thing, I don't see that as him. Dongor, I mean, I wouldn't call him a Dongor, not to his face anyway. Bartor. Aoi. Aoi. I should know how to say that. I don't speak Japanese. Koma Inu. What happened to its hair? It's like it's just flesh. Shaken? This one's Shaken? Zoza? Oh my gosh. What rabbit hole have we dug ourselves into? Grilda, what did you grill? Grilda what? Gagio? It's like Dragon Ball? Kasumi? No. Samukabu. No, none of these are really giving me Alex vibes. But if one was... Alright, Winba. Nah, I'm going to say he's a Pokemon. I can't say he's one of these. I can't say Alex is a Spectrobe. I mean, some of these don't look bad. Majority of them do. Like, who would want a frickin' Shogyo? Most of these just look like mollusks. They don't look cool. Like, I'm not into them. We're still going here. Okay, he's Pepe. Alex is Pepe. Are you happy? Are you happy, Terry? That's my response. If he was a Spectrobe, he would be Pepe. That's T. That's T right there. All right, cool. We have few more here. Awesome. What is my favorite gaming genre to stream on YouTube? This comes from SNES Mapper. Lately, it's probably been golf. I really enjoy Mario Golf and streaming that. I would say like RPGs because you have the processing time and time to look on stream, but I don't actually like streaming RPGs if I haven't played them before. And I usually like to take a lot of time in between RPGs. It's probably like Zelda's. I really liked streaming, doing the 3-heart run for Ocarina of Time. I want to do something similar with Majora's Mask, but I don't know. Like, it'd be worth a try, but I think that fish boss is going to be tough. Terry's saying it's platformers. I don't know about that. Like, I enjoyed doing the Donkey Kong charity run, but it's actually really nice to have somebody in the chat with you, like in the call, so they can read the chat for you while you're doing it. And if I don't know the platformer well enough, it's not necessarily true. Obviously, I did the Sonic Mania one against Alex too, and then Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. But, I would probably go Zelda's or Golf's. But I guess platformers, maybe if you had to just confine it to a genre. I don't know, man. Maybe I need to do more golf streams, like Everybody's Golf or Hot Shots Golf or something. It could be good. I enjoy platformers almost as much as Alex, kind of. What was your favorite moment from meeting with Alex and Spencer recently? That's a good question. A lot of it actually. All right, so that was my first time meeting Spencer, so just getting to see him and getting to be the first one at the cabin. I beat Alex there. And just, sit down and kind of chat with Spencer was nice. We got to just kind of like size each other up, so that was cool. I guess I liked playing some games in the cabin. That was really fun. Me and Alex went back and forth and played Halo co-op in the campaign for a couple nights. I really enjoyed playing Smash Bros with the guys. Also just getting out and getting to go in the town and going out to dinner the first night. Like, you could ask the guys. I was doing nothing but making stupid Teddy jokes like all night. And I don't know. It's just there's some kind of beauty to bringing the show, like ourselves on the show, to ourselves in person, and it kind of just happened naturally. It was fun, and the process of recording videos was also a lot of fun, and it was all around a great time. It was all moments that I was favorable towards. I really just enjoyed being on vacation, being with the guys, sharing a shared space, and kind of just hanging out. I do wish we had more time to kind of just recline and hang loose, but it's what it is. You take what you can get. So that'll do it for the Q&A, but that's not it. We also have a voicemail segment that you can call in and ask a question towards or leave a comment or some feedback. The call-in number is 1-917-267-8313, or you can send me a voicemail on Discord as Terry309 did. And I'm going to go ahead and play that for you, and we're going to go ahead and respond. Thank you, Terry. Let's check it out.
Hey, Majority. I heard you got something featured in a magazine, and that got me thinking. What if the Button Mapper community made their own magazine, and it was basically just a magazine involving all of the Button Mapper community members? And my question is, what would each member contribute to that magazine? What would they specialize in if this magazine was a thing, like the Button Mappers magazine? What role would everybody play in the community?
Beautiful, beautiful question, Terry. I love that. And the piece of work that he's referring to, I did a video talking about, and I read my Q&A segment. That was in a video titled, I was featured in a video gaming magazine. It was Nintendo Force, and it was in the Zelda Skyward Sword edition. Go check that out if you haven't seen it. So that's a beautiful question. First off, what is this magazine? Maybe it's the Button Mapper-zine, the Button Mappers magazine, the Button Map-a-zine. I don't know. But, I think there's some clever, funny stuff we could do with it. Mapping it out or something like the first installment in Mapper Central. Like, first things first is like we would all have to come together and just kind of pool a title for that and see what that would, become as in terms of, a concept. Like me and Alex, we did that like for a whole night with conceptualizing the Button Mappers, as it were. as far as specializing in individual stuff, I think my thing is like, when it comes to a workload, it's like we may have specialties, but it doesn't restrict us from being able to do the same kind of sections as the others. I think my big thing is, if we were to do a magazine, I would not want it to be like every other gaming magazine where it's basically the identical format. Like, I'm okay to take some things. Basically, I kind of do this on my channel. Hopes and Expectations is previews. The Majora T-Cast is interviews. And so, like, I could see myself being primarily kind of an interview guy and kind of like a HR and reaching out kind of guy, but I think Spencer would be good at that. I think Alex is really good at that too. As far as reviews go, I think, like, obviously Spencer's not the spaceship shooter guy, but like maybe me and Alex divvy that up, maybe me and Spencer divvy up some RPGs. But the thing about that too is, I personally, and this could be like a whole clashing thing of like between us, and we would have to parse it out. I don't agree with the sentiment of reviewing an RPG if you're only 10 hours in. Like, to me, you got to call that something else. So I personally would bring RPG log to the magazine. I would bring this kind of like impressions thing, and then you could do the review later. That's fine. But let's not sell our audience short on what we're doing here. Just to say we got a review out, like, to me that's not fair. Like, that's not fair to the reader. It's also not fair to us. So I think there needs to be a level of transparency and understanding there. And then I think there is definitely, like, if you think of the purpose of this magazine, I mean, it could be twofold. It could be, a look at modern, which I think Spencer definitely tackles, and then I think a look at retro too, and I think me and Alex probably have that more covered, but Spencer's happy to join in. And then I think that, like, a really cool segment would be kind of like the 3-person, like, discussion, maybe transcription. So, like, that we could have just kind of a recorder going and a voice to text going in a Google Doc, and then just kind of just say who says what when, and have like a 2-pager on that. And so I think that would be like, it would be kind of a round table of a sort. And then I think, like, table topics would work really nicely as far as, like, audience, submissions or whatever. So to me, there's potential there, and I don't know if anything would ever happen with that. I don't know what the other guys' interest is in it. I haven't even gotten a chance to bring it up to them, but I would love to know what they think too, and we could talk about that. But yeah, that's long-term goals. Let's get the channel rolling first. You know what I mean? But beautiful question, Terry. All right, reminder: the next installment of Majora T Speaks returns will be hosted by Alex from TurboZone. Please keep all questions and voicemails corresponding to his hosting. You're not going to be asking me something; you're going to be asking him, and keep it respectful and all of that. So appreciate you. Thanks for watching. It's been a great premiere as always, and I will see you with more to come. Yeah. Here, let's drink some tea. Tea for Terry. Just to close out, right? Right, Terry? Yeah. My British brethren. I'm drinking the British blend is why.